Hello and welcome once again to another edition slash vlog of Danny Dog Poker. This is a very interesting It's a very interesting session with lots of hands. Here's me speeded up talking outside the casino, waiting patiently to commence. So let's go. 1-2 cash game incoming. Okay, so we look down at King 9 of spades. We limp. The cut-off raises. The cut-off limps. We call and the straddle raises big to £16. We hit the flop pretty favourably with 2 pair. We check. He puts in a continuation bet to the tune of £23, and I raise him quicker than Liz Truss's term as PM, and I put it up to £75 because there's a lot of draws there that we don't want it coming, so we've got to charge him the max. If he's got ace king, obviously we want it to come along. However, he folds. Nice fold, sir, if you did in fact have a hand. We look down at 10-9 of spades. There's a raise pre-flop, £7 raise. We call. We missed the board completely, so we bet the turn. Our opponent quickly calls. He calls quicker than somebody in distress, stuck at sea, I think. We missed the river completely, which means that when it's checked to us, the only way we can possibly win this hand is to bet. And bet we do. And fortunately for us, our opponent quickly folds, and we take another one down. Next hand, we look down at just a great hand, really. A really great hand. In fact, it's probably the third best starting hand in poker, I would say. I mean, it's often said in this country that we do not like cues. Well, let me tell you, I was more than happy to see these 2 cues, especially when it's raised to me by somebody that I know is going to call 3-bet, and 3-bet I do. I raise. The price to see a flop has just gone up. I make it £37, and we go to a flop, which is fairly safe by all accounts. We don't want to see an ace or a king, obviously. We see a flop of 9-8-4, and we down bet. We down bet to £30 because I just don't think he can fold for that price with almost any hand. And sure enough, he calls. Now this is where I think I play the hand badly. I check, and he does in fact check back. And this is where I play even worse. I should bet big here, because it looks like I'm bluffing, I think, if I bet big, and I can get a lot of pocket pairs to call. However, instead, I decide to go for super thin value, thinner than Kate Moss in the 90s. I bet £35 into a pot. I should definitely be going bigger. I should be betting £80 or £90 at least. He quickly calls, and I think he had pocket 7s or pocket 6s, and we scoop. We spook. Halloween's finished. We didn't spook. We scoop. We scoop another pot, which is always nice. But yeah, definitely didn't play the hand as well as I could have, that's for sure. So I'm in the under the gun straddle, £5. There was a raise to £15. I quickly call, obviously with the ace 5 of spades. We do hit the flop, which is checked through with the 5. It's 8-6-5 flop. We obviously hit the 5. The queen comes on the turn, and he decides to rep the queen here by betting, as he would do with hands like ace king, ace jack, ace 10. I'm not going anywhere. I make the call. It's only £8 after all. We could hit an ace on the river, we could hit a 5. We might not need to hit anything, we might just be good. But when the two colours behind us call, that's not great. I'll tell you what is great, is when the ace comes on the river. And we smash that river harder than the Niagara Falls hitting the Niagara River. And we go ahead and bet £36 when it is in fact check to us. He quickly calls and he shows 8-5. So unfortunately for him, having flopped 2 pair, he gets beaten on the river, and that serves him right for raising 8-5 suited. Serves him right. And we have a few run-ins actually, me and him. Not this hand in particular. There's a raise to £15 in this hand. I re-raised to £40. I know it's a daft thing to do, but you've got to do daft things sometimes, I do believe. I think it's important. The flop isn't the worst one in the world. I've sped this up because it's quite lengthy. We go ahead and c-bet to £27 with a gut shot after he checks to us. And what he does next is quite surprising. He is a fairly solid player, but he does like to mix it up with some bluffs sometimes. And he does in fact put in the check raise. He makes about £75, £76. And I very quickly, repping aces or kings or queens, as I would do, just shove all in. And I'm delighted to see that he doesn't snap call. If he does, we obviously need to hit an ace or a deuce. Certainly a deuce. An ace might not be any good. But I decided to apply more pressure than David Bowie and Freddie Mercury and target hands like 6s and 7s. And amazingly, he folds. So yeah, one of the biggest bluffs I've ever pulled off in my short, illustrious poker career. And we take down another nice pot, and it's turning into be a good session. Okay, we pick up more 7s than Len Goodman on a Saturday night. There is a raise. I re-raised to £40 against the same opponent. We just bluffed with ace-5, and of course we showed him the bluff as well. So he's obviously going to come along for the ride on this one. The fact that he doesn't raise tells me he doesn't have anything too big. He simply calls my 3-bet, which is good. Hoping to see a fairly clean flop, a low flop. And we do. It's a 9-4-3. The flop is checked through. The turn is also checked through. Sorry, the turn we put in a little bet, and he calls, and we check back the river, and he does in fact have 6s. So we do get a little bit of value on the turn there from pocket 6s. So a nice result for us there once again. So we look down at 8-7 suited, a lovely hand. We call a raise pre-flop, and once again we're up against our nemesis. And we do in fact hit the flop with their middle pair. He does in fact c-bet, and with middle pair I'm certainly not going anywhere. We're heads up, there's no one behind me. We know he likes to bluff. We know he likes to bet. So I'm more than happy for him to keep putting money in the pot with ace queen and ace jack and hands such as that. 3 comes on the turn. If we were good in the flop, we should still be good now. And when he bets £18 on the turn into a pot of 64, I don't think there's any reason to raise. We want to keep his bluffs in. So I go ahead and just make the call. 7 would be nice on the river. 6 would also be nice. We don't really want to see a heart. As it is, it's a fairly clean river. It's the 4 of spades. So we wait to see what he does, and he does in fact bet fairly big, somewhere in the region of 60 to 70 pounds, I believe. Don't know the exact figure, it doesn't matter. It's about 2/3 pot roughly, it's over half. A lot of the time we're going to be good. I think we're going to be good here more times than we're not. He's a big fan of the vlog. He wants to be on the vlog. He wants to bluff me. He wants to show the bluff. That is obviously at the back of my mind. We get a zoom in on his hands. He gives it the old nervous shake. That to me signifies strength. But you know, he would do that with pocket sixes. He would do that with ace 2, ace 3, ace 4. He would do that exactly the same. So we've already got one up on him. We decide to make the call. If he's got it, he's got it. And he does. He actually turned 2 pair on us with 7-3. The sneaky little bugger. So that's 1-1 now. To protect his identity, we'll call him Harvey. So well done, Harvey. It's 1-1. We don't have to wait too much longer to get involved in a pot with Harvey. As we look down at King 10 suited, he raises pre-flop, we call. The flop is 7-4-2. He c-bets to £10, and with 2 over cards and the backdoor flush draw, I'm certainly not going to be going anywhere. In fact, King High is probably good anyway. We hope to see a king, a 10 or a diamond on the turn, and we do in fact hit top pair with a 10, which is great for me. And now I'm hoping he's got a queen 10, jack 10, etc. We bet £15 when it's checked to me, and he quickly calls, which makes me think he might be on a draw. He checks quickly when the river comes a queen to me. I'll sped this up because it is quite a long wait. I decided to go for value on the river, betting round about £50, 45 to £50, can't remember exactly. And to my amazement, Harvey, as he shall be known, to protect his identity, who wants to get on the vlog, he wants to win the battles against me, he check raises to about £140. So it's like another £90 for me to call. It's a great move if he does in fact have 9 jack as he's repping, or perhaps a rivered set of queens or a set of 10, slow played set of 10s. I doubt it. It's queen 10 I think here, or nothing, absolutely nothing. I'm not buying what he's selling. He wants to show all you viewers a vlog, and I know you're dying to see what he's got, and for that reason I have to call, because he probably won't show if he's got the goods. I flick in the call, and I also show that I've got the goods, and he turns over king jack suited. So nice attempt at a bluff, Harvey, but it's now 2-1 to me. And yeah, nice move, unlucky, on to the next one, GG. I cannot contain my excitement as I look down at the cowboys. Yee-haw! Get on your horse and drink your milk. Or is it drink your milk and get on your horse? I can't remember, but that's a really bad John Wayne accent. Apologies, John Wayne. I know you're not alive, but apologies anyway, and apologies to all your ancestors and family members, because that was really bad. Anyway, yeah, we looked down at Pocket Kings. There's a raise to me, sorry, it's limp to me, and I raised to £20, and I get a collar from somebody that likes to call, which is always good. We're hoping to see a king on the flop. Boom, there it is. There's the king. We flop top set, and we're not slowing down, because as I said, this person likes to call. So I continue. I put in another bet. Bet about 2/3 pot, and they do in fact make the call. Are they on a flush draw? Probably. Do they have an under pair? Maybe. Maybe. Do we want to see a club on the turn? Absolutely not. Do we see a club on the turn? No. Great. Lovely. Magnifique. We've got to bet big here, because if they are on a flush draw, we have to charge them. So I do in fact go fairly big. I'll bet somewhere in the region of £60. I think it's about £59. Fairly big. About 3/4 pot. Knowing that this particular opponent will call if they do have a flush draw. And sure enough, they make the call. So really don't want to see a club on the river. We want them to have a hand like pocket 8s and hit an 8 on the river, or pocket 10s and hit a 10 on the river, and then we just get all of it. The river is in fact a 3. Unlikely they have a set of 3s, but would they call a bet with king, queen, king, jack? We shove all in, and unfortunately they fold, claiming they did in fact have a flush draw. So we take down another pot. So we're in the big blind. There's a raise to £16 and then a call, and I got king jack off. I think there's only one thing to do here, and that's raise big. We got £55, looking to take it down quicker than a submarine captain who is scared of heights. Yeah, we bet £55, and the pre-flop raiser manages to fold, as does the pre-flop caller, and we take down the dead money. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I like to play king jack. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes. Having won a bunch of money earlier with pocket queens against our opponent, not enough. He shoves the turn. We got the flush draw and the straight draw. We smash the river, giving us the nut straight. We show our hand, and he mucks. Somehow there was only £5 in the pot on the flop in the turn, and then he just shoved the turn for about £60. Yeah, and we just rivered the nuts. Not sure what he had, but it was nice to win this one. Now, we look down at ace jack, and a very active opponent is down to his last £100 or so, and he says shortly before this hand, do I want to flip? Which tells me he just wanted to gamble. He's in the straddle, the £5 straddle. I make it £15 out of the gun with ace jack, which is a good candidate. We get 2 collars before it falls round to him, and he just shoves all in for about £120. Now this might just be one of the worst hands I've played in a very long time. I hate the way I play this hand. I should probably re-raise pre-flop and isolate, but I don't. I just call the £123 all in. Luckily 2 of the players behind me fold, but one of them makes the call. So we do in fact go 3 ways to the flop. But yeah, really do not like the way I play this hand pre-flop, and probably post-flop as well. I just don't play it very well, which is a bit of a spoiler alert, because it's kind of telling you that I don't win the hand itself. But it's just a really weird situation. Yeah, the last person to call here, I just wouldn't expect them to do it with the hand that they have. I'm thinking they have like a pocket pair, king queen, maybe ace queen, queen 10. So with that in mind, when I see a flop which is queen high, I'm happy just to check it. It doesn't hit me at all, and the opponent shoves all in for around about £120, about a third pot. And I just can't really call here. I think my ace jack's never good. But yeah, I just make the fold, assuming that she's got a queen or a pocket pair. And on a queen 7-2 flop, I'm quite amazed to discover that she actually has a 7. She has 6-7, and boom, I would have hit my jack on the turn, I would have held. The pre-flop shover had pocket sixes. Like I say, the other caller had 6-7, so I would have scooped this this near on £400 pot, and I would have been up to close enough, about an £800 stack. But instead, I lose 120 odd. I have fast forwarded this hand straight to the river. I bet the turn, having picked up a flush draw. He calls me, and then he leads the river when the flush gets there. I've only got 4-3 of spades, so it's not obviously the highest flush. I make the call when he turns over ace king of spades, so he makes a bigger flush than me, a much bigger flush than me. Don't really think I can fold that there though. The annoying thing is the opponent in particular is very tight, and I think if a spade doesn't come, I can easily bluff him off the river there. So nice answer. Please do not adjust your sets. Yes, I raised 9-5 suited under the gun. It was the player that we stacked earlier with Queen 10 when we rivered the nuts. Can we stack them for a second time? Hopefully. The flop, we flop 2 pair. He leads out on the flop. We're four-handed. I just call. Everyone else folds. And then he shoves the turn for about £110. Obviously I call with 2 pair. And on the river, amazingly, I make a boat. I quickly show him what I've got, and obviously the boat is good, and we stack our opponent for a second time. So yeah, you got to mix it up a little bit sometimes and play hands like 9-5, maybe not under the gun, granted, but we were 5-handed at this point, and we're getting close to wrapping the session up. So yeah, we got a bit of run good there for sure. Oh, this hand is still painful 3 weeks later. We look down at King Queen. Now let me set the scene. We have £760 in our stack, having started with £250. I reach out for a rack to rack up my chips. However, King Queen, got to raise it pre-flop. We get re-raised to £20 pre-flop by the big blind. We are in the small blind. I got a call. King Queen's a premium. This guy's been pretty active. He's going to be doing that with a lot of hands. So yeah, make the call. Happy to see a flop for £20. If I miss, I can skedaddle, and happy to leave with a good amount of chips. We hit the flop hard. We flop top 2. He bets £20 on the flop. We call. The turn is pretty safe. It's a 3 diamonds. And he bets £75. Is he doing this with ace king? I mean, really, I want him to have a hand like 10 jack. Or even ace jack of diamonds, ace queen of diamonds, and I just want him to bet big and bluff on the river if he misses. So I just make the call. Arguments for raising, but I just make the call. The river's pretty safe. It's the 5 of spades, and I check it to him. As I said, I don't want to go broke tonight. I don't want to get raised by him here on the river and be in an awkward spot. So I'm happy just to check call here on most sizes. Would not be confident calling on all in, believe it or not. He bets £225, so he bets over pot. Some of you might be good enough to fold this on the river here, but with this player in particular, like I say, I'm just hoping he's got a hand like ace queen of diamonds, 10 jack. He's bluffing with 10 jack, king jack perhaps. He's betting king jack for value. Who knows? I make the call. And he very proudly turns over pocket kings for the flopped set. And we lose probably the minimum, to be honest. Good game, sir. Well done.